we just did the interview earlier today. And so, I went home. I was looking up the case with your son. That's a pretty big case. It's a national case. I was actually shocked to see that.
Tavish was in the room. 15 minutes later, he is gone. He has disappeared from the hospital room. Mm-hmm. The mother and sister were asleep on the couch. The other infant was asleep. Nothing. That's why I don't fault the mother and the sister that were in the room for the roommate, because they are probably so used to people being in and out at this point. Why would they even notice? You know what I'm saying?
Right. They're trying to sleep through it so they can get some rest.
Exactly. So I don't want to fault them, but it's such a bizarre situation. You know what I mean? This happens. The nurse is I think she's trying not to freak out. She goes to check with the rest of the staff. Did someone take him from the room? Did he need to get tested? All of these things. And realized soon after that none of the staff knew where Tavish was. So they immediately, as soon as they realize this, they alert law enforcement. And a search is commencing. And they also had to tell his foster parents because he was with them at the time, or he was under their care at the time.
Right.
I don't know why they weren't there. It does not say. So, I don't know if the rules were different because it was through DCS. I have no idea. They were devastated at this. Tavish's roommate's family was investigated thoroughly by the police because obviously if they're okay, a staff member didn't take him, his mother they went to go check on, and we'll get into a little bit more why she wasn't the one who took him, but they definitely searched the family because they're okay, well, the mom and sister were here. So clearly they're the ones who have the most access.
And then they told me, well, it was another family, they had a child in the hospital, but they said they interviewed that family. So I don't know.
However, they were interviewed, they were investigated, and eventually cleared. Tavish's mother, it was found out, had been in a mental institution at the time, and she was being treated for schizophrenia while he was abducted. So neither she nor relatives were even considered suspects in the disappearance because most of his birth family didn't even know he was in the hospital at the time of his abduction. So it seems at this time, due to the protective custody, they were kind of keeping all information away from the family.
But see what they did when they came and got him, he ended up with a lady supposed to be his foster mother.
Right.
She took him to the hospital.
Right.
And she left him. I don't understand why she leave him like that.
Yeah, because, the way the story sounds is as if though they too were devastated by this happening. But the question automatically comes to mind, why would they leave him there by himself?
Right.
So there were two persons of interest in his disappearance. One was a, quote, agitated man who tried to enter the hospital's pediatric wing after 8:30 the night before Tavish was seen last. He was described as tall and thin, wearing a baseball cap, and disappeared before they could call security. But nobody remembers seeing him the day of, just the night before. The second person, however, was a woman around 25 years old, described as being 5'5" and 160 pounds, with medium brown complexion, strong cheekbones, and almond-shaped eyes. She had black pants on, a long black coat, and large earrings, and her hair was pulled back with a large bow. She was carrying an infant with curly hair. A man saw her outside the hospital and said he noticed her because he found her attractive. Another witness saw the same woman inside the hospital. And the assumption from law enforcement at the time was that this woman had maybe convinced a partner that she was pregnant and she needed a baby to prove that she was pregnant.
And then they said they had a sketch of two women, suspicious women, they seen leaving the hospital. They said they had a sketch. They showed their sketches on TV. Asked me, did I know? No, I didn't know them people.
And the reason I wanted to bring up this case is because it is a very bizarre case. We have so little information. None of his family knew that he was even at the hospital. There was no one there taking care of him. This woman was noticed carrying out a baby, but there's no, I think the fact that she seemed to be kind of, getting out as quickly as she could was what also brought some attention to her.
Well, yeah, because usually if you have a child, one, they don't let you walk out. They wheelchair you out. That's been in effect for a long time. Very rarely do you actually walk out of the hospital with a baby in your arms. And then the baby always has to be in a car seat before they let you take it home, especially if it's a newborn. I get it, he was a month old, but still, he's still newborn size, depending on.
Right.
So I get why that caught people's attention.
Yes.
But then they actually harassed me after he disappeared. They came to my mama's house, searching the house, and they thought actually I had took him. What had happened, me and my sister had a baby about the same time. So she asked me to watch her baby one day. So I went to the store with the baby. I took him with me because I couldn't leave him there by himself. He went like about 4 or 5 months old. Mm-hmm. And somebody out there called the police and told them that I had my baby, the one that had got kidnapped. Police ran to my house and I had a fit. When they took him, I had a nervous breakdown. I ended up in the mental institution again. I was actually in the mental institution when he got kidnapped.
Yeah, that's what they said. Mm-hmm. And that's why they eventually ruled you out for being a suspect, because you didn't even know that your baby was in the hospital in the first place, because the baby was in defects. So you didn't have any.
But they think I knew. They tried to say, well, you know where the baby at. They kept asking me, who you think could have took him? I don't know. He was with y'all. Y'all should want to be trying to figure out who took him. Yeah, I wasn't even there. So how could I tell somebody to go get him? I don't know where yet.
I was about to say, you didn't even know he was at the hospital.
Mm-mm.
So then another strange thing happens. His biological mother, sued the hospital over the kidnapping, and the suit was settled out of court for $600,000.
Oh my gosh.
So she got $600,000 because her son was kidnapped in their hospital, essentially.
So, in looking at the case, it looks like a couple years later, you was awarded a $600,000 settlement.
Nah, that went to a lawyer. They had me have a guardian. I had to have a guardian. And they gave a lot of money to my other children. So they never gave me a big lump sum of money.
How did the money break down?
Well, the lawyers, they got a lot of money.
How much did they get?
A lot.
So of the $600,000, how much do you think they got?
I think they got about $400,000.
$400,000? What lawyers was this?
He was a white lawyer that a friend told me about. His name was Charles Musket. He probably dead now.
Charles Musket?
He had an office over there at East Point, Cleveland Avenue. And then, see, they tricked me. I thought they were going to, give me my money myself. But then when the case got settled, they were like, no, we got to appoint you a guardian. So she was like, it should be...
Because you were still, I guess, mental...
Yeah.
Okay, and so they appointed you a guardian?
Yeah, a white woman.
So someone that you didn't know?
Somebody I didn't know.
And was that a guardian over your money, or...?
Over my money.
And so how did that break down?
She be like, issue me out a little money every week. Like, she first started out giving me $500 a week. $500, but I was working too. I had got me a little part-time job in Stone Mountain Park. And I had an apartment.
Real quick, man. Shout out to Stone Mountain Park, man. I know somebody real close to me that used to work there for a lot of years.
I enjoyed it then. But just trying to keep my mind occupied, and I worked there a couple of months, it was season of one summer. And she was like, issue me out my money. I tried the hardest I could to get somebody else that I can trust to be my pay. I wanted to make my mama my pay. I really did.
But what happened to that?
Somebody in my family said, no, don't do that. She said, if she get the money, she not going to give you anything. She ain't going to give you nothing. So, and I was still mad at my mama because I felt like it was her fault for calling them people.
Well, I was about to say, when I went back and did my research and then, re-looked at our interview, I would have to agree with you. She was the one initially that called defects on you in the first place.
Yeah.
So that baby wouldn't have even possibly even been
Right.
in the hospital, or if he was in the hospital, it's a high possibility that you guys would have been there with him,
Yeah.
so that he wouldn't have been alone and been able to have been abducted like that.
Yeah.
So the reason that this case really it's eerie to me is because they always thought that after this point that it was a woman who wanted to raise a child, right? Like she wanted a kid and she couldn't have her own for whatever reason and took him. So they still speculate that Tavish is alive and just unaware of who he actually is.
Wow. So maybe it's just my brain, but I don't know. Well, I guess that wouldn't work out if I guess my weird brain was like, do you think a family member was in cahoots with the mom to steal the child and then obviously win a settlement? But I get it. She was receiving mental health treatment, so that's very unlikely.
Yes. And the thing is they seem to have enough information. Whether it's correct or not, I don't know. But they do speculate that the woman who took him lived between 4 and 24 miles from the hospital. But there's really no evidence supporting any theory. And while they've had some tips, everything pretty much went cold. And it's bizarre to think Tavish today would be 29 years old and could have no idea who he actually is.
I mean, I don't know how they did it, if they, unless he was asleep, because he cried a lot. He cried a lot. I used to take him places with me, and he was, he's a real crybaby.
Well, but I mean, you only had him for like a week.
Yeah, but I went a couple of places, took him with me, and he cried a lot, even at home. I think that what irritated my mama so much. When he cried, she thought something was wrong with him, but it wasn't nothing wrong with him.
So, I mean, is your mom still alive?
No, she passed in 2010. Yeah, she diabetic. She had to get both legs amputated. I helped take care of her. I really love my mama, but it's just something about, I don't know. She used to get it just seemed like she just had a hatred towards me about something. I don't know, I guess it's maybe because of the things I did in my past, and I got hurt real bad one time when I was young. I got shot by a guy. It was my 17th birthday. And, my whole family knew this guy. He had his own grocery store, black guy. I had a little money. So he liked me. I didn't even like him. He called me one night. My mama answered the phone. And she was like, wanted somebody, the phone for you. And it was him. Because he knew our family. I didn't give him your number. And, because he knew my dad. We used to get credit from the store. And he said he wanted to take me out for my birthday. I was like, okay. So we went to his house, and he used to snort like the cocaine. I ain't never been into that. And drink, the alcohol. I used to do a little drinking, beer and liquor like that. And he went to sleep. So by him having a store, of course he had a gun for, protection. So he went to sleep going right here by the bed. I'm in the dining room drinking and looking at this movie on TV. So when I got tired, we lay down, went back there where he was. The TV was on, but I wanted to finish watching the movie that I was watching, but I wanted to lay down. So time I got ready to lay down, he wakes up. Oh, who is this, who is that? Grabbed the gun, just started shoot. He shot me in my back. I was paralyzed, waist down. They had to, teach me how to walk again, but I made it through that. And, we went to court. They said it was an accident. They listened to, both sides of the story. I'm thinking this man shot me for whatever reason, on purpose. He knew I was there, but he was in another world. He forgot I was there. That's what he said. He forgot I was there. He thought I was a person. And that's what the court did.
That happened at 17?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I told you I was a little wise, but a lot of times guys.
Well, I mean, did your mom urge you not to go or not to deal with him?
She didn't know.
So you was kind of
She
doing it
might
behind
not
her
even
back.
know who he was.
Is this guy still living?
Nah, he been dead. He got sick.
Do you have any pictures of you from back then?
No, I don't. I done moved around so much. My mother had a photo album with some of pictures in it, but my sister, she got the book. She lied and told me she didn't have it. She don't want nobody else to see the book. Because I asked for some pictures of my mother for Mother's Day. She claims she didn't have the picture, but she posted the picture on Facebook.
What's on Facebook? Okay. All right. So I had a lot of bad stuff happen to me growing up, and my dad, he was kind of overprotective. He was mad at the guy. He actually wanted the guy to come to his house. The guy was actually scared. He wouldn't even come to the house. I think my dad was gonna shoot him. Well, shortly after that, my dad got sick and he had to go in the hospital, and he died with prostate cancer. So let me have you do this. So, you know, somewhere out there, there may very well possibly be a 29-year-old young man that doesn't even know that you're his biological mom, may not know anything about his origins, but if you could just say anything to him, if he just by some miracle
would have happened
yes, if he would have happened to stumble across this video on YouTube, what message do you have for him?
I would tell him that I was real angry when I lost him. It hurt me real bad. It caused a lot of problems in my family between me and my mom, because I actually really had a deep hatred for my mother. Even when she got sick, I felt sorry because she didn't have nobody to take care of her. But I just didn't feel the love that I should for my mother because of what she did. And I really loved my son. I was doing the best I could to take care of him by myself. Even though his daddy I met at a bar, and he came to my place. And I was telling him about Tavish, but he don't think, it was his, and he don't think Tavish was his son, but I know that he was, because he looked just like him. But I tell him that, I never did anything to hurt him when he was a baby. People just told lies because of my mental illness, and, just somebody who thought, had a little more than I had, that they could take better care of him, which I don't think is right. Because I see a lot of kids get taken because the parents can't, buy these. They ain't got no big house, no nice car, no good job, and all of that. But I was just telling her I really miss him. I think about him a lot all the time, wondering where he is, and I just wish I could have, spent more time with him and watched him grow up. So I don't even know how he handled getting to take no pictures. They did a sketch, so it's kind of hard when you ain't got nothing to go on. And the police did a sketch of how he might look as he grows older, but I don't think, he looked like those sketches that they put out. And I just want to say that I'm mad at a lot of people. I'm so angry with my mother. I was angry with the police. I don't think they did enough to try to find him. I always thought that whoever took him, they took him to another state. I don't think he was even in the city of Atlanta when they was looking for him. And I just prayed to God to let me see him again, to see all of my children again, which he did, except for Tavish and Joshua, my other son. And I see all 4 of my girls, all 4 of them, and I just said I wish I had my boys, with me. Maybe things, I wouldn't be going through this. Because I know boys seem to take good care of their mothers. And I just wish that I had got a chance to raise him. And, I hate that he had to go through what he went through. And I hope whoever have him, I hope they, really love him like I did and they take care of him. But I wish that God would put it in their heart that, come forward and just, confess what they did. I wouldn't even be that mad. I just want to see him, and see what he looked like and let him meet his real mama. I hate people take people's children and try to hide them from their family. That's just like a form of slavery. Where people used to separate people from their families and sell them off. That's how I just feel. I don't know if they sold him or I don't know what to think. I never thought nothing like that to happen to me. Having to go through that is kind of make me feel like a really, really bad mother because I feel like I failed because I didn't let it happen, but I just really wasn't, I don't know if anything I could have done to prevent it. If
I was about to say, I don't know. I don't really know what you could have done. I mean, I'm not 100% certain what happened or didn't happen while you did have them that caused your mom to, call defects on you, but
I don't understand why she would call them. I was always there with my children. They always knew I was their mother.
You said it was something about sour milk?
Yeah, she thought I was giving him some sour milk. I don't know.
Was he still breast?
I didn't breastfeed him. No, he was a healthy baby. He weighed 8 pounds. And
that is a healthy baby.
Yeah, he was a really big baby. And I don't know, sometimes people just, I don't know, the police were saying like, oh, it's just some young girl wanted a baby, some poor young girl. I mean, if you're so poor, why you trying to get somebody else's baby and raise it? I mean, I'm assuming somebody get a baby, they gonna have enough money to take care of that baby. You gonna have enough money, you got to make fake birth certificates and all of that, to pull that over. Ain't no poor girl took nobody and got that baby. That's somebody that had enough money.
If I had to speculate, just right off the top of my head, like I say, I would think that it's someone that either worked at, volunteered at, or knew someone that worked at the hospital, that knew the system, and that knew the overall circumstances that this was a baby that was in defects, that was basically a month old, and had been taken from the biological mom. And obviously, like I say, there was no one there watching the baby. So they probably, saw that. Maybe it's someone at the hospital that does this stuff and, they have some type of underground funnel system to where, if someone's looking for a baby and the opportunity comes up like that, then, they make the phone call and they make it happen. But that's just me just wildly speculating. So, all right, well, listen, miss, we really, really appreciate you kind of helping us to really fill this story out. Because even listening to the podcast that they have out there on you, they make it sound like there's a small possibility that you could have orchestrated this for the money. But again, the facts don't line up with that. And like you just said,
ain't no way I would give my children away with no.
Well, but like you just said, you didn't even get a $600,000 check, according to what you just, what you just
straight
said.
To the lawyer.
Yep. So, and I believe that because I know that's how these lawsuits work a lot of times, especially with, when they get poor people, clients, and they know that they can bill them for all type of crazy hours and really take advantage of them. Right. And they can get rich like that. So, all right, miss. Well, like I say, we really appreciate you, and we definitely continue to wish you nothing but the best out here. Make sure you have a good one tonight. we got your PayPal up. So, you know, where are you sleeping at tonight?
Well, I usually be going down there by the Georgia State. I was supposed to get in a shell, so I'm trying to. They had an open at the transition, but I just didn't have the money right then, so I'll get my check next week. So hopefully I'll be in a place by next week.
Okay, where you sleeping tonight though?
Well, I'll be down there by Georgia State train station.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Well, you know, I'm gonna try to get this video up ASAP, so that hopefully, you know, the people can, you know, can donate.
yeah, even though I had to sue Grady, I still love Grady. They took care of me, but it didn't even happen at Grady. It happened at the children's hospital.
Right.
And then they came out with these little bracelets. They put on these little baby arms so nobody can't leave the hospital with them.
After that happened.
Yeah, but
yeah, I mean, it seemed like it was a pretty big deal, like the case. Like it seemed like it was big news, and
yeah,
that's wow. All right, Miss. Well, like I say, we appreciate you. Wish nothing but the best out here. Okay.
All right.
All right. Make sure you have a good one.